Hello and welcome to episode 14 of our Hearts of Iron 3 Puppet Master series. We are still focusing basically entirely on fighting the Soviet Union. They are pushing into Poland, not so much this last episode, but still advancing. Last episode they actually took a huge chunk of Hungary, which we have just managed to basically cut off their troops from the rest of the Soviet army. And hopefully we can force them all to surrender. Let's see how it goes. Okay, maybe I could actually pronounce all of these. Scarborough. Actually, Durham, I was doing a pub quiz once, and there was a question which was voted the most boring city in England, or the most boring town in England? And the answer was Durham. Of course, none of us knew it because we were all New Zealanders, and why would we know what the most boring town in Britain is, or England, or whatever the question actually was? Apparently it's Durham. Very boring place. Well, never been there, it's just what I hear in pub quizzes. Oh, we're not doing particularly well here. Hopefully the Hungarians will hold. We're doing pretty alright. Just got to get them to hold long enough to actually finish killing all these troops here. We're not really killing them, we're forcing them to surrender. The Soviets are still pushing in the south. But hopefully, if I just keep encircling them like this and just force them to lose 10 divisions here, 5 divisions there. At some point, their front line's just going to break, and they won't have the troops to hold it, and we'll be able to just push on to Moscow. Me and all my allies. Of course, they are actually doing their share. You see another French division coming over. They're all basically just sending troops into this battlefront as they come. Even, Nationalist Spain sending troops in, Belgium's... Actually, where's Belgium's troops? Oh, of course, Belgium's troops are all in the Congo, so they won't be helping, and Ireland won't be helping. But we've seen the Norwegians and the Swedes fighting up here. I assume Denmark's around as well. Of course, Poland's here. The Swiss, Austria, lots of Yugoslavs. Especially in this region for some reason. Probably because I'm telling them, actually, let's stop. You don't need to attack anymore, just focus on defending Warsaw. Actually, I might tell them to defend a few other spots in Poland, just to spread them out a bit more. So yeah, we'll tell them to defend Krakow. So many puppets. And let's go Brest Litovsk. I'm still thinking of attacking there, so it's probably a good spot to get them to concentrate. Oh no, and they've broken their encirclement. So I suppose the only thing we can do is attack straight down to here. Except we're obviously going to have to leave one division behind to hold that while these troops retreat into that province, otherwise we'll lose them all. And these guys are just going to have to reach there and have a slightly smaller encirclement. That division commanded by Antonov might survive this. We'll arrive there on the 5th of February. Of course the main stacks here and they're still in trouble. I really hope we don't get encircled here. That would be a disaster. Cool, this is looking promising. Send some more troops, another division up there just to try and hold us a bit better. And they're attacking Uzhhorod. Man, my infantry here have taken a battering. But they've probably actually been on the front lines this whole time and just haven't had a chance to get into reserve. I mean, the Soviet forces also seem quite worn down. I'll get one of these guys to support the attack as well. The Battle of Sop. Well, again, look at that 13th Panzer Division's basically not functioning. My troops just aren't able to sustain this battle, so I'll actually set them to defensive. Just, my troops need time to recover. I'm going to send a division in to try and take that spot, because it seems like we actually lost that battle. Not surprising when you saw the strength of the division that was doing the attacking. There we go, the Hungarians are in a bit better state. Actually, I suppose I should order my allies to defend Debrecen as well. Just because it's only myself and Hungary in the south here. Oh, and one of our SS divisions is very bad shape there. But we finished the encirclement? No, we didn't, because they managed to break through just there. Okay, I think we actually just managed to force a few divisions to surrender. Although there's lots of infantry just there. And actually, technically we're just cut ourselves off again, but we're about to regain Sop, so it doesn't really count. And well, there we go, we just gained that as well. So we'll pull everyone here back, we don't need to hold that province. At least not now that our troops have managed to escape from that pocket, or, well, which ones, those that could escape, did escape. Oh, and the SSHQs have been in combat again, and I wasn't paying attention. Okay. We'll find the 7th SS Division and pull them right back to Kossos. And yeah, we'll just try and pull people back, kind of a division at a time, just to prevent the front collapsing. And we could well go for a small encirclement here. How many divisions would that nab? 1? 2? 2. But I really think we've got to get up around here. I don't want to get encircled. Reinhardt, you might as well pull back. Actually, it looks like everyone's pulling back here except for the 5th SS. Okay, well, you'll go as well. General students. Now we're going to have to leave at least one behind till these troops manage to pull back to the right spot. Now we've got an offensive going north here. How close is Poland to surrendering? about halfway. No, our Marine Division might get trapped here. And even then it might get trapped there. So I think I've actually waited about as long as I could, to be honest, and I'm going to have to grab my SS troops and pull them out. Grab everyone into coast ice now. And then we're obviously just going to have to rush up around here to try and save the day. Or at least save these few divisions. Plenty more French troops coming over. Oh good, they've pulled them all off the Channel coast is where those guys have come from. And Italy's got a division down here as well. Spain's bringing a few over. I mean, Western Europe's basically not defended, I mean, except for England. Actually, if I set any objectives here, because if I take London off as an objective, will that bring some of these troops home? Would be very useful if it did. I have a feeling it won't though. Okay, the Marines made it out. Just in time. Those guys, 2 divisions look like they'll be lost though. And you're really going the wrong way. Still very tempted to try and encircle something around Brest Litovsk, but there's actually no one to encircle there. I'm actually kind of feeling that the immediate threat here is actually... oh no. No, we're going to lose my Marine Division and my Cavalry Division, or what used to be my Cavalry Division. Well, at least we're probably going to. Unless Heinemann can get in here and do something. Man, it's like these divisions are just needed everywhere. Might just try a little encirclement here on the way. Just try and bring some of the pressure off the front lines. These divisions, they might live. There's a very small chance. 2 more days that province has to go unoccupied. And Heinemann, you're retreating. No, you're retreating the wrong way. Don't do that. And you had to hold that for much longer than like an hour. Okay, how are we going to do this? I'm kind of tempted to just charge straight across here. You're not really holding anything, but at least try and disrupt their line. Actually, let's give it a go. And then move into reserve there. Just try and take some of the pressure off these guys for a bit, while still moving north. And Heinemann's attacking, which is good. Actually, he's managing to hold the front there, which means my Marines at least will escape, and that's... oh, and those infantry. And the Cavalry Division also already managed to pull out. So that's very good. But these are desperate days in February 1943. Looks like we've already managed to win the first battle here of our little charge north. things aren't going great in Hungary now that they've left. And of course we're actually almost fighting in Germany. How are we doing for production? I'm always surprised how little infantry Oberkommando Europe actually wants. But Africa wants more. We've got a lot more rocket technologies in here. Oh, they're 1944, so let's see how they go. Wonder if the AI now wants any strategic rockets. Nope, and no. Well, maybe I'll give you a few anyway. Very little manpower, so that's okay. And a few of the flying bombs, I don't think I actually like the flying bombs, just got very short range. Oh, the rockets have 5,000 range, that's really impressive. I mean, I don't think 5,000 kilometers is going to be enough to hit any of the useful Soviet things. Well, let's see, if we base them, say, here. Actually, I think they have to be based at an air base. We'll base them at Königsberg. 5,000 kilometers is deep into Siberia. So actually we could hit their industrial areas with our V2 rockets. That's an interesting idea. Let's actually just move those two up. And then I'll start another one, which I'll just churn out. Well, build time 138 days, that's a long time. Although I suppose with our rocket practical increases that will help it a lot. We'll build another 23. And just leave them here with the battleships. And hopefully those will start building very quickly. And here goes my SS pushing north. Actually, I might take the headquarters and send them a safer route. Okay, the front line's gone back to being flat. We might be able to save these last few troops here as well by the looks of it. Schmidt just has to hold, but he's not going to, he's already retreating. Oh, but these guys aren't. Actually, they look like they're going to do pretty well. No, we just won. Okay, so those troops survive. France, still not giving you Lend-Lease. Well, actually, since we've just done a little encirclement, maybe we'll try and hold it. It's probably actually a bit much for us to hold, just a 3 provinces. We've only encircled a few divisions, so it might not be worth it. Well, I suppose every bit counts, and like I said, it does take the pressure off these guys for a bit. There's Guderian, commanding an infantry division, one of the better German generals. Sunk HMS Resolution. I have no idea what that ship is, but it looked powerful based on its picture, so I'm glad it's sunk. Probably the one sinking all my convoys. And I still need more ships. And actually I'm going to have to start building more soon, it looks like. Infantry's coming, but not quickly enough. And that encirclement's over now anyway. So we'll just keep heading the way we have been. I suppose actually we've just managed to, if I stop a division, well that's... Just hold this province for a little while, and when the Soviets arrive, they'll surrender. Even if there's only one division. Engineers here have taken a battering. Yards Tiger and Panther tanks. Cool, the Soviets have gone, so you can keep moving. And by gone, I mean they've surrendered. They've got heavy armoured divisions, which I don't. Heavy tanks are very good on the battlefield, but they're very expensive. And frankly, you see how I'm struggling to compete with the Soviet Union without wasting industrial capacity on things like heavy tanks and mechanised infantry. And how well are my troops doing at recovering? Not very by the looks of it. Just need to get some actual reserves going here, but it looks like just everybody needs to be on the front lines. Great, my ally, oh, those are all their strength. Yeah, we've got plenty of manpower. I've only lost a little bit since this video episode started. It's just I can't afford, I just need to get some space for organisation. How are things going in Africa? Hopefully this will cheer me up. Much the same. We'll finish off that Portuguese pocket over there. But actually I don't see many German troops here at all, so we've pulled our guys out. But things are going better in the Congo. Angola's almost gone. And how close is Portugal to surrendering? 93.8%. Add war goal. Guangdong, I don't think I need to. How's France doing over here? Absolutely no troops holding it. British right there, but they don't seem to care. And somewhere in here, there's my SS Army commanders. So we managed to push back a little bit here. Stabilise the front a bit. Lots of Soviet divisions in retreat. But I'd actually really rather my troops just held back and saved their strength for now. Oh, we've captured Brest Litovsk back. Very good. Things are starting to look up a little bit. So my troops, SS troops, are in pretty good condition, so we just got to look for another encirclement to use them on here. Kepler, you got there quickly. So like, look at your progress, but you don't have anything that's going to make you faster. Oh, we could encircle those guys quite easily, but they're about to be defeated anyway and pull back. But I'm looking around here and I'm thinking there must be some way we can turn this to our advantage. Unfortunately, that province is quite fat, which means if it's going to be, can't get around it. Can't get around any of these except for that one. We'll trap a few divisions there. Oh, that was actually important. Panzer division shattered, I believe. Was that Rommel's division? It was, the 9th Panzer Division. So I believe that pops back up in Berlin at some point. But not yet, apparently. Oh, that sucks. I mean, we did have supplies there. Italy wasn't helping, so it doesn't surprise me. That probably does mean Rommel will get to fight on the Eastern Front now, where he's probably actually way more needed. Maybe we'll try for... we can do a 2-province thing there, but Brest Litovsk is probably going to fall, which would ruin that whole idea. And we're going to far north again. 1, 2, 3. We could do that. No, maybe not. It is a bit scary. Just pushing further that way when they're already deep into the country this way. I'm thinking here between the two rivers is where we have to do something, but I just can't really see a way of doing it effectively. Unless we just push straight through to Chelm and into there. and hope that AI can hold these last few places. Yeah, let's give that a go. I think it's a bit ambitious, but we'll try. Especially since it looks like we're actually being forced back there anyway. We'll just go to there, actually. It's a bit easier. Good and Steiny, you're in reserve. Recovering, we're going to need you. And hopefully we'll be able to encircle those guys in there. There's a lot of divisions in there. 8 infantry brigades, 4 armoured brigades, 5 motorised brigades. Would be great to knock them out of the war. But we're going to have to win a big battle in Lukau first. Hopefully it'll be a defensive one, rather in 4 days, and hopefully the Soviets don't beat us. Looks like they're doing a general advance across the north here. Where my attack's going through in the centre. No, this is Kepler, or one of the SS. Just got to find the right person to click on. Attacking over a river, all of our engineers will help us here. And the Soviets are already very worn down, possibly just from this battle though. But we'll be able to push over and break through here, no problems. Well, Kepler's at his max skill of 7. Blaskovitz is getting into position. Soviets are still resisting here, and we've actually taken a lot of organisation losses. So, possibly maybe a bit ambitious. Oh, and they've managed to capture it before us. So we're having to attack into Lukau, but it was only 1 division, so we defeated that. So hopefully we'll defeat them all piecemeal as they come in. That's about all we can hope for here. The Soviets are starting to pull back in the south here, or in the south, on the southern end of this pincer. Let's hope this works. I really don't want to lose my SS divisions, they're just not going to be able to replace them right now. "66 hours till these guys can attack. 4 hours there, the attack has started. Without the 4th SS division apparently. There we go. Well, so it's going to be a nice easy win. Most of the troops were actually very well worn down from the previous battle, whereas my guys are still in pretty good condition. I might just leave 1 division behind here though. Same as once the attack starts here, and once we win... Oh! We've reached there quickly, so I'll get one of you to support the attack in the north. And I'll leave the 1st SS behind, and you can support the attack as well. Actually, we'll get 2 of them to support the attack northwards, and they'll leave a 3rd just holding the province. Has the attack started? 15-14 hours. Agriculture's too advanced. What is this province? Vlodawa. Oh, there we go, we start the attack. It's not going well. Oh no, I lie, it is going very well right now. Major General student, skill of 7. And again, the Soviet divisions are very well worn down. So it's obviously not just me that's suffering. You see, they're trying to pull their guys out of the pocket, so it's a bit of a race now between whether my SS troops can get there first. I'm guessing going into April, my bombers are going to be able to start doing their thing. Now, I don't actually see many Soviet planes attempting. See, these are hostile bombings. They do have bombers around, but seems like I'm doing 2 of mine or my allies for every one of the Soviets. Look at all the troops they have in Brest, Litovsk. Now, why aren't I trying to surround that? Oh, because those are all brigades. So yeah. And divisions. Okay, whatever. I'll take that at some point. if we can surround these troops, that would be great for the war effort. 10th of April is a bit long to wait though. How long until you can get there? 8th of April is a bit better. Does weaken this one a bit much though. Should have just been pushing up the whole time if I'd have known it was that much quicker. It's not like there's more fighting to do unfortunately, so we're not going to surround them. Just the AI was pushing too aggressively here, but we have basically managed to just destroy their morale in a section of the front just south of Brest Litovsk here, which is still a worthwhile thing to have done. A little encirclement here could be done, but I've got plenty of AI, so I might just leave them there for now. I mean AI allies. Yeah, all the Soviets have managed to escape, so we might as well save our strength. There's no point trying to take that province now. So, things really haven't gone well for us in this episode. We had a big bulge in the north of our front lines, well, north central Poland, where all of our allies were stationed. But that's now gone, and we lost a few divisions in the retreat from there. And the Soviets are also still keeping up pressure throughout the front, and it's the same situation it has been this whole war. I've got enough force in my SS Corps that I can drive the Soviet back in one area for a little while, but in doing so they're going to just slowly advance everywhere and eventually wear my troops out. And then all I can do is pull back and push them back somewhere else and maybe hope for an encirclement here or there. So, not really liking how this war is going so far, but I hope you've enjoyed this video and I'll see you all next time.